Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
Hi. Well, we're moored up for December on the Llangollen Canal, and we've got a few catch-ups to do with our cruising videos, but we thought we'd do something a little bit different in the meantime. So, as you know, we are liveaboard full-time. I work full-time from the boat. Carol does probably 3 or 4 days a week working on the videos.
Yeah.
And we wanted to kind of give you a feel for what Narrowboat Life is like for people of a certain generation, let's say. We are not representative of all older boaters, and there are older boaters who are more physically capable than us, and there's probably many that aren't as physically capable. There are some that will have many more years boating experience and have got used to doing things in a certain way and are absolutely fine with the things that we think are challenges. We accept all of that. So this is not an expert presentation on old people boating.
Not at all.
When did we move on board?
We actually moved on board, it was a year ago March, so March 2021. But we didn't really start continuous cruising until May the 27th of this year. Mostly because we were spending so much time working on Liberty and getting her up to the standard where we could get the solar panels and make it really homely for us, because we had planned on living on her for a minimum of 5 years.
We have probably one of the longest delivery lists on Amazon.
Between the boxes and the actual people.
Yeah, so we use different pickup locations. I'm sort of the continuation page 5 now of Amazon addresses, and I have to keep scrolling through to see which one is what.
Yeah.
So we'll move to a new location. We'll look to see where the Amazon boxes are.
And then we'll get excited.
I hasten to add that we don't particularly favour Amazon.
We tried to shop local.
You're more physically active, so on the one hand you have the potential to become much more healthy than people who have a very sedentary lifestyle. On the other hand, when you've got to lug, say 100 kilos of coal back in a cart along a muddy towpath, you certainly can get a sweat on.
Oh yeah.
And then you've got to lift it up onto the roof, or you've got to lift the 25 kilos or 20 kilo bags sometimes, if you're lucky, lift those down into the well deck and kind of position them in such a way that you're not tripping over them every time you're trying to get on and off the boat. Things like carrying lots of shopping back. You might feel like you want to go and do a big shop, but what you tend to do is to say, well, how much can I manage to carry back?
How much can I put in a backpack?
Yeah, so, it's rucksack shopping rather than, load the back of the SUV up kind of shopping, So that makes a difference. Those kind of physically demanding things that you do that maybe when you're in your 20s and 30s,
not as big a deal.
You take for granted.
Who needs a gym membership if you're a boater? You don't. You get every kind of exercise you can think of. So
we kind of had this division of labour where I steered the boat and she operated the locks and the swing bridges.
Keeps your muscles strong in your upper body.
But not all locks and swing bridges are equal.
That's true.
And any of you who've done a significant amount of boating or boated on holiday will know that the balance beams themselves are sometimes not very well named because there appears to be no balance at all in the lock. It requires huge physical exertion.
Let's just put it this way. I don't know how some of you solo boaters do it on your own, because there are times when I am putting everything into it and just cannot. I mean, I get frustrated. I'm like, I'm going to do this, but some of them are incredibly heavy, and I do have to get Rob to get off the boat and help on those occasions.
Some of the paddles are very heavy to operate.
You're turning them and they're like stiff, and sometimes it's just the beginning, and you'll know what I'm talking about. They'll just be stiff until you can get it going, but it can be quite hard work.
Trying to moor the boat when a wind is kicked up.
I forgot to put the rope around me and sit on it and use my body weight to pull in. I was panicking because there were, what are they called, fiberglass boats across the canal on the other side, and I was afraid our boat was going to get blown into them. So I'm like panicking, trying everything to pull, how many tons?
Yeah, a lot. These things don't seem that big a deal, but no matter how good you are, you can pull the boat into the side, and by the time you've aligned it to the side and Carol has jumped off with the midline or the front line, the bow line, the wind has blown the boat away.
Probably about 8 weeks ago, I was trying to jump off to moor up, and I went down on my left foot, and I have had a painful heel underneath my foot since, which doesn't seem to want to heal very well. That's the thing about getting older, is that you don't heal as quickly when you do get injury. And that can be a problem, especially, I would imagine, if you're a solo boater.
You feel like you've got to take better care of yourself, but the opportunities for injuring yourself are considerable. Look, I mean, people injure themselves all the time in houses. You know, they'll fall off ladders, they'll trip over, they'll get electrocuted, those kind of things. When we were in Lancaster, it had been raining, and I went to throw the midline to Carol, who was on the bank, to help to pull the boat in. Again, it was quite a windy day. The boat had been blown away, so I had quite a distance to throw the centre line. And as I threw it, I slipped and went kind of sideways into the handrail at the back of the semi-trad stern of our boat. So it's like rolled steel there, and broke a rib. Landing against the side of the boat.
And that was no fun.
That wasn't any fun. That was quite painful and quite debilitating, because then I'm less able to help Carol to moor the boat, to pull the boat into position. Sometimes when you'll pull into a mooring position, but then you want to adjust that mooring position. You might want to pull it forward a few yards because it's got better access for Tilly to get in, on and off the boat. Those kind of things. You don't drive these things in winds with high levels of precision. It's kind of, bump into the side and hope for the best that you can pull it into some semblance of a good mooring.
And the other thing too is that as you age, you just, depending on your genetics, you will develop certain things, and from time to time I get really achy, and especially in my hips. So if I have to walk a long distance, I really ache, and it makes you feel tired and kind of run down. So you have to kind of look after yourself and not be too crazy, because I keep forgetting I'm not 20.
One of the things that Carol has always loved to do, she has always, ever since I've known her, she's loved to take baths.
I love my evening bubble bath. The hotter, the better.
And one of the reasons why we've always enjoyed it is because she was very athletic. When we first met each other, she would like to go running, and we hiked a lot. We did a lot of walking, and she would kind of relax her muscles and sort of ease away her aches of pain. So almost in a Radoc's bath. So she kind of really used that as a therapeutic. Yeah. So you'll tend to get hot water from the calorifier when you've been cruising, or if you've been running the engine to recharge the batteries. Those are your opportunities to have either a quick hot shower, or more likely just a really good strip wash. We recently went to my company Christmas do, and it was quite away from here, so we stayed Airbnb for a couple of days, and always you'll find that I don't think any boater would even contemplate booking a place that didn't have a bath. So we found that we were then, for the 2 days that we were away, each day we took 2 baths each.
It was so nice.
Yeah, it's really good. Hot water, having a hot shower, or having a hot bath really help you with those aches and pains.
Yeah.
But it's just not always practicable.
It's just life. It's boat life.
I've found at times, using the folding bike it sounds great, and it's great in the summer when the towpaths are nice and firm. Not really ideal when you're literally cycling through a quagmire.
Especially when your mud flat breaks off the back end.
Yeah.
And you come back with mud up your back.
It certainly made me feel a lot fitter. I ran just a short distance. I hate running. Unless I'm being chased by something with lots of teeth,
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to be running, And but the other day I decided to run from a lock back to the boat, which was, you'll laugh, but it was probably no more than 50 yards. But a couple of years ago, if I'd run that, I probably would have been at the end of it. I felt amazingly good at the end of it, and I thought, well, that was really easy. It was like no effort, and it's all the cycling. So I think that whatever we cover on the canal system of Britain, we will have also walked that, because Carol will walk along the towpath a long way. We'll be walking often to shops, or we'll walk to get the vehicle. Do a lot of walking. If you don't feel that you could cope with that level of exertion physically, then you would probably find this life really quite really difficult.
Hard. Yeah.
Coming from our generation, because I can certainly remember when we only had a bath once a week. That was on Sunday night, and we would share the bath water. There was a family of 5, and I remember Dad always had the last bath. It's really sad for Dad. Yeah. So I think it started with probably my sisters, because they were cleaner than me. I was a grubby little boy, always getting into mud and all that kind of stuff. So probably it went in that order, then Mum, then Dad. And I think that for our generation, where we haven't really been used to having all of that for a large section of our life, even though we obviously became completely used to it and having multiple bathrooms and those things, but still you don't feel hard done by. It doesn't seem that big a deal. It might seem that big a deal if you're really somebody that likes to be pampered and pristine.
I do know one person on this boat, though, that doesn't mind that we don't have a bathtub.
Yeah. Yeah.
She never cares.
She never
cared for baths.
If it's not dirty water,
if it's
she's
not
not interested.
Mud or something that stinks that she can get into, she doesn't want to know. So
yeah,
isn't that right, Pumpkin?
Yeah, you're a smudgy little thing, aren't you? Yeah.
Don't listen to him.
With Tilly's eyesight going, it's sometimes it's heartbreaking, really, because if the light's slightly faded, as I go to bring her back onto the boat, she'll see something of a reflection in the side of the boat. In fact, it's her reflection in the paintwork on the side, just in front of the well deck. And she'll want to jump in there. Well, there's no opening there. That's the steel side of the boat.
We have to be very, very careful with Tilly. It's like we're her seeing eye humans, and we have to watch that she doesn't run into things, keep her out of the canal.
Yeah.
We even got like a nice little, like a sling that's very soft, and it just goes under her belly area, and it's got nice handles.
So we have the harness at the front, which is critical.
Yeah.
Particularly, you don't want to be lifting a dog by a neck collar.
No.
So that supports under her chest. We then have tummy support for her, and we'll lift her on and off. In other circumstances, we also have a walkway.
Yeah.
Like a ladder that's converted with rubber matting on top of it. It's falling apart a little bit now, but it's perfectly safe for Tilly to use. So we'll bring that into the well deck, and we'll usually put a plank at the side of it, and that gives her quite a wide, fairly level walkway into and out of the boat. And she's got quite used to using that. So I think things to be conscious of, if you've got an older dog, making provision for them as they get older is really important as well.
Yeah, we also put like yellow tape on the steps coming in to the front room so that she can see that edge.
With our boat, we've got a standard...
It's called a small double.
A small double
You
bed.
get them at IKEA.
Is it 4 feet wide or something?
4 by 6.
4 feet wide by 6 feet long. And and it tucks under the gunnels. So
that's his side.
So my side is that I have to crawl in from the bottom of the bed on the hands and knees, and then try and kind of get into bed that way, and then my knees are tucked under the gunnels for most of the night. Occasionally I'll turn round, but
what you do is you lay in facing the same direction. They say, okay, I gotta turn over, and you both turn over. Then you got to turn over again, and you got to go back and forth. So it is more difficult, I think, as you get older to find a comfortable position when you're trying to sleep, and especially in a smaller bed. But we manage. Robert works, and that means a lot of telephone conversations, and there's really nowhere to go that's quiet that you can't hear someone else talking. So sleeping in the daytime, unless you're both zonked out, you're probably not going to get a whole lot of make-up time for your sleep. Because we're continuously cruising, you don't have your base that you can go to all the time unless you're continuously cruising in the same area, which we're not. So what we've had to do is have an out of area type of GP that we still have to go to if we want any kind of tests or examination, but they do call prescriptions in to wherever we're near, whatever town we're near. We just need to give them the pharmacy, so that helps. Yeah. Same with Tilly. She has a vet, and he's at one particular location. And the difference with her is that they won't call her prescription in, so we have to buy her prescription a couple of months at a time.
Yeah.
And take it with us.
It means we have to drive quite a long way back to
get
the
to
vets.
it. Yeah.
And that is an inconvenience. That's probably something that we'll be looking to change in the near future, to find a vet that is prepared to write us a prescription, and that we can get that filled online and delivered to a box or delivered to somebody locally.
If there's any kind of topics or anything that you'd like us to cover, leave a comment below. We really do appreciate your comments. It would be boring if we did a video and didn't hear from anyone. We love hearing from you.
What we'd also like to talk about in another video would be some of the appeal of boating for an older couple, because all we've talked about today are kind of the challenges. There are things that we love, and we'll kind of bring you our take on that stuff.
We're going to put together a video showing what Liberty was like when we first moved on her, and just kind of take you through the process of the things that we did to make her a home. She looks a whole lot different than she did when we first bought her.
You know, once we've cleared up the mess in the clutter,
once we've made room to walk,
then we will show you our home in reality, and hopefully that's something that you'll enjoy.
You'll be interested in.
You can enjoy and be interested in, yeah. We do want to keep everybody happy. A lot of people like the cruising videos, so our apologies to them for this one, which isn't about cruising. We still have lots of material to produce cruising.
Loads of material.
Since we left Liverpool.
So it'll be coming.
So that will be coming. It really only remains to say thanks for watching. And
thanks for watching.
And if you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Feel free to share.
And subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And then you'll see what we post on the community page, as well as some of the photos that we take as we go along, and some of the updates through the week. So it's a way of keeping in touch with where we are and what we're up to. So take care, and talk to you all soon.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Tills.
See you, Till.
Say bye.
Yeah. Never work with children or animals.
There you go.
And I'm working with both.